And now we're joined with pro boxer Liv Hussey. So I'm just going to read out a couple of your achievements so far. So obviously a GB Tri-Nations champ, a Team GB gold medalist and a 2-time national champ. I mean, the great achievements, aren't they, at such a young age? What's that been like for you?
Yeah, it's been good. Obviously, when I was younger, me initial sport was actually football. So I used to play for Everton when I was younger, and I put a bit of weight on, and they said, like, got me in the meeting and was like, it's time to, obviously we're going to have to let you go, you're not hitting the standards we need. So I looked at boxing then as a way to get fit and do well, and obviously I did do well in the sport. So yeah, it's good to obviously have achieved that.
You're also doing one-to-one coaching as well. I mean, obviously you've been boxing and playing sports the majority of your life, and it's a way of life now, isn't it? But what was that process like of teaching? Because it's different, isn't it, to fighting yourself?
Yeah, it's 100% different. Obviously, I have a lot of like young kids who come to me, so I like to do it. Obviously, some of them are like age 4 or 5, and obviously others who actually do box, so they like a bit of technique and stuff. So yeah, it's good to kind of give back.
It's rewarding, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, for someone who's local and giving back to the youth. What's that like in terms of a rewarding thing for you to kind of know that you're giving back to someone who was probably in your position at an early age?
Yeah, it feels good. Obviously, you go on with a smile on your face. You see all the kids happy, and obviously they love coming to you over the weekend. Oh, you're still doing next weekend and stuff like that. But yeah, so it is, like you say, it's very rewarding and good that I can do something like that.
Steve, how proud has she made the people around her, you know, yourself included?
Yeah, it's good, especially when, as you say, you know, she was only younger self getting into boxing and started to achieve some goals for herself and, you know, better herself, really, become a better fighter. But, you know, like we touched on, being a better person is more important, in my opinion. You know, you grow as a person as well as growing as a fighter, and, you know, the fact that she's now, you know, putting it into action, and she's helping other people and training other people, just shows what type of person she is, and the fact that she can give back is good to see her doing it.
In terms of like your training routine, what's that like at the moment?
I do obviously train full time now with Steve. So literally Monday to Saturday we train, which is obviously, it's good, obviously learning every day and stuff like that. So yeah, it's quite busy at the minute.
Do you like being busy?
Yeah, I can't sit still. So yeah, it's good to be busy. Yeah.
Do you think as well, I think staying disciplined and staying in that mindset is good, isn't it? Because you kind of get that extra edge on maybe opponents who isn't doing that when you are.
Yeah, 100%. That's something massive for me now as well. So I need to, obviously, discipline's massive. Need to stay disciplined and obviously trust the process, really.
You were a successful amateur, weren't you? And what was that like, the jump from being so successful as an amateur to then the pro?
It was, I obviously still probably agree, I probably should have stayed a bit longer as an amateur before turning professional. Obviously I had a bit of time off doing electrician, did an apprenticeship, so that was like 3.5 years, and then I took the jump to turn professional when maybe I probably should have like got that feeling again, getting back in the ring. So it was quite a big jump, to be fair. But yeah, I'm happy with how it's going and stuff like that. Got a few things to work on, but yeah.
In terms of setting goals, what's that process like for you? How do you go about setting your long term and short term?
I just want to continue to get better and improve. Like, I've not got a specific goal. I just want to keep improving and become a better fighter.
That self-development's so important, isn't it? We've already touched on that with Steve. But listen, Liv, it's been fantastic talking to you, and best of luck for the future.
Cheers, mate. Thanks
very much. So welcome back. We've got 2 more guests, and we're joined by Liam McCracken and Joe Gerrard. So it's fantastic to meet you both, and we're going to get to talking to you about your careers in a second. But talk to me a little bit about what the pathways are for, obviously these guys have gone through it, but for the students who are on the course themselves.
So obviously being a fighter and being a professional athlete is a massive sell to the prospective students, but obviously there's real education and employability sort of pathways that we want them to attach to that vision and that dream. And the pro fighting's obviously the main one. Going to university, studying something like sport development, sports coaching, sports therapy, becoming a coach, which both of these young guys have, and they're both very, very good at it, or working in the industry, whether that's as an official, you know, being a judge, referee, working in the media side of it. So it really does encompass a lot of different roles, and what we're asking for our students is to be multifaceted. We want them to, you know, if becoming a world champion's the vision, then great, because a vision like that will only, you know, make them become self-motivated and ambitious and everything else. But then we also want them to make sure they've got at least a second and third pathway to fall back on, and even to fund the, you know, the journey as they make it as a professional athlete as well. But, you know, these two guys are such a great example of that, and, you know, I'm really excited to share the stories today.
Definitely. And Liam, we're going to come straight to you because you have quite a unique story, and I'm going to let you take the lead on that one. But it's a story of adversity into an advantage, really. You know, you've bounced back from a lot of setbacks. So just talk to everyone a little bit about that.
So obviously last year, I've been with Dean enough for years since I was a young kid. I was lucky. I was like the first year of this college course I got it put to me, and I was sort of a perfect example of like, I just at that time was just set on being a professional fighter. And you sort of get to the point where you're leaving school and everyone else is looking at jobs and apprenticeships or college, and I wanted to fully commit to being a fighter. So this was a chance for me to like be able to basically fund me training. As Dean said, I didn't have no intention of being a coach. That's something I've just sort of fell in love with, and I love equally as much as fighting now through doing the college course and things like that. But yeah, the college course has been massive for me. So even just in my recent situation, so last year I had a bad accident. I got run over by a bus last year, sort of in a position where I was in a hospital bed, not knowing if I'll ever be able to like walk, never mind fight again. I've had a very good recovery so far, going on nearly a year now. I'm back walking, doing a lot more stuff than what I thought I would be doing at this point. But just because the fact that I had done the college course as well set me up in good stead, where even though there was a chance my fighting career could have been over, I still knew I had something to fall back on. I knew that if I can't fight again, I'm going to be able to go into coaching. The second I got out of hospital, I was coming into the gym in my wheelchair and sitting on the edge of the mat, keeping my head on the game, watching the other lads and trying to help them. I have been doing that for like the last year now. And like I said, through doing that, I've sort of fell in love with the coaching side of it equally as much as I have the fighting side of it. Like once I do get back to fighting, I don't want to just drop all this now because I've become that in love with it, really. Do you know what I mean? I get just as much out of watching the other lads and helping them than I do doing it for myself. So it's going to be tough trying to find a balance of what to do with that when I get back. But yeah, I couldn't recommend like the college and things like that enough.
It's fantastic, that, isn't it? The way you've overcome such a huge obstacle. You know, getting hit in the way you did. I mean, how many bones did you break?
Too many. 4 in my back, 3 in my ribs, my pelvis. I've had like 4 surgeries. My nose, had literally everything, tore my shoulder, my knee. So wow. Yeah, been through it. Like,
what's the thought when you say that now to me? I'm sure you've said it a lot to a lot of people who've probably asked, like I just did. But what comes to your head? You know, how do you feel about that now?
To be honest, I've sort of gone a bit numb to it now. Like I said, you feel like it's just all I've spoken about for the last year to people. Everyone asks how you been and stuff like that. So I sort of learned to like, I can say it to people without actually thinking about it, whereas at the start, or sometimes I'll sit down and I'll think to myself properly about it. I'm like, it still feels mad that it's even happened, but I can't complain. Obviously, I can't complain for what's happened, like, but I'm doing well, so I'm happy.
It's fantastic the way you mentioned you went back in the gym straight afterwards. I mean, that's unheard of for a lot of people. A lot of people could actually take that as a sign, like, you know, this is a sign for me to stop doing this. But you saw it in a different way to kind of, you know, get your coaching and still be there for your they're like your family, aren't they, really, in the gym? So what was that like?
This has been my whole life since I was 10, so as long back as I can remember. So I ain't going to let that stop it. And like I said, even now, there's still obviously, I've not got back to doing anything properly yet. There's still a chance. I don't know how my body's going to hold up when I do get back to doing it. But the fact that I've got the coaching and all these other avenues to fall back on, it took so much pressure off me. Whereas a lot of other people, if let's say I didn't do this and I was just fully sold on being a fighter, and I come back and, because there's a chance my body doesn't hold up, do you know what I mean? It's one of them, I'm just going to have to see how I get on. But like I said, it's just took a lot of pressure off me where, like, I've set a life up for myself now where no matter what, ideally I get back fighting, I do the coaching alongside it. If I did come back fighting, my body doesn't hold up, I've got that coaching to go away and be happy with and go away and commit to that properly. So, like I said, it's took a lot of pressure off me.
That's lovely, that, isn't it? Because, I mean, I think you've mentioned before that if you got a daughter.
I've got a little girl, yeah.
I mean, what a lovely example that her dad's been in such a horrific accident and he's used that as fuel to come back. And I mean, you mentioned as well that that was what was on your mind, you know, your daughter. You were never not going to see her grow up, were you?
Yeah, no, that was definitely the biggest motivator for me. First thing was just wanting to be able to hold her again. Then I got that, then it's on to the next target and the next target. But yeah, she was literally like, I think the reason I'm still here, to be honest. I think most other people probably would have not made it through something like that, but I remember, like, I don't remember, but this is what I've been told, like, whilst I was there, she was the only thing I was speaking about, so, yeah.
It's a miracle, really, isn't it? And she can see, I think, children at an early age, we kind of underestimate them, I think, at times, and we think that they don't know what's going on around them. How old is she?
She's nearly 2 now.
So, you know, but I think even at that age, she senses, she can sense what's going on, and she can sense that her dad has fought through something, and she'll grow up most likely with that mentality.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
you know, you're a great role model for her, aren't you? And I'm sure you're a great role model for all the lads that you're on the course with.
Yeah, and I've been like, I've had so many messages about like other people's stories and things like that, and it's mad, like, for me to be reading it, the amount of messages I've had saying about like inspiring other people, and even other people who've been through like accidents and things like that, and they text me that they didn't want to do any physio and that, and I tried to make it quite like, I put it out there, look, 'cause I was sort of using it as like, my Instagram was my motivation. It was a hard time, so I was getting hundreds and thousands of messages off people saying like, to motivate me, and I was using that to give it back to other people and that, so yeah, mad time, but you've got to try and take the positives out of every situation, haven't you? And I have done with this.
Fantastic mentality, that, isn't it? I mean, what was that as like as well? Because there was a GoFundMe as well, wasn't there?
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of pressure on that. There's a lot of pressure on, like, there's so many people that want you to do well that it's almost a little bit overwhelming, isn't it?
Yeah, it was tough to take at first. Like, obviously, at first I needed it. Even now I still need it. If I didn't have that, I don't know what I would have done. But yeah, it is. I sort of felt like in debt to everyone and things like that, and I felt like all eyes were on me. I was walking around in I was just a brace head to toe, and then I had that as well. So it was a stressful time, like, I'm not gonna lie, but I've coming out to the other end of it now. So, and like I said, I'm massively grateful to everyone for the support I have. It was crazy. I've not seen nothing like it. So,
but you're better for it, though, aren't you? I mean, I think it's one of those things, isn't it? We all have moments in life. Obviously, I've had moments in my own life, but nowhere near what you've just mentioned that you went through. But you kind of, and correct me if I'm wrong in your situation, but you're not that you're glad it happened, but you wouldn't take it back because it's made you who you are now. Yeah,
in a mad way, I sort of am. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, once I've been through this, I can get through anything in my life, literally.
Yeah.
It's the only ways up for me, isn't it? So.
Exactly, and you know what? With that mentality, you won't go far wrong, and you're a great example to. I'm sure, Dean, you're so proud of.
Yeah, do you know what, mate? I'd love to just add to that, right? So obviously, I've seen Liam's journey from the outside. I'm looking at it as a coach and as a tutor, and you know, we knew we were going to run the course a year before we started it. Liam and Marlon were like 2 real standout youngsters, Marlon Jones and the team, real high level, legit training partners for the advanced pro guys of 15, so really good, heavily skilled fighters. But what's been great for me, and even more powerful, is just seeing the growth of them, you know, from 15-year-old boys who are a bit nervous about doing certain things to, you know, they're helping me assist with the ninjas. Then at 16 it's their class. And then at 16, you know, at 18, the ninjas is run by 4 coaches, split into 4 groups, which they're managing. And then before you know it, they're working with kids who are fighting, and they're taking the juniors to win championships, and they're literally coaching them themselves. Very little input from me and Phil. Then now that's progressing to the amateurs, and then all of a sudden now you're looking at Liam, you're like, yeah, he's just one of the head coaches in the gym. Do you know what I mean? I'm fighting myself at the minute, so I feel like when I'm not there, I'm like, good job, Liam's there at the minute. So I just think it's, as talking about it before, the power of mentorship, and I actually think one of the things that has made Liam so advanced in this game is how much responsibility we've given. Like I said, he didn't turn up saying he was going to be a coach. It's just a line that I've got all the right skills here. Obviously, I've got the sport-specific knowledge, but I've actually got all the right skills you need to be an excellent coach as well. And like I say, I've no doubt he's going to come back fighting. You know, he was pinging most of the lads on the mat on Wednesday when he's still not meant to be doing nothing like so. But yeah, so I've no doubt he is. But like I said, if he didn't, I'd be 1,000,000% confident that he's already going to be successful. I put me Mars house on it. So no, it's powerful. It's powerful to just see the journey, really.
It's motivating here, you know, even listening to your story and, you know, doing my research on you as well. I think it's so motivating to see someone who is like, knows he wants to come back fighting, but has a plan if he doesn't. I think that's really powerful. And I think that he's, as you say, he's creating that example.
Yeah.
To such
again,
many people.
he's been mentoring so many kids and had an impact on so many young people. I just think the response to the crash was just testament to that, really. You know what I mean? I think he just got what he deserved.
Definitely.
After a bad accident, you know, he got what he should have, and that was loads of support from everyone.
Definitely, and that's what you want, isn't it? When in your a moment like that, a moment of you need people around you, don't you?
And it was the whole MMA community as well. I think it's really good to point that out. Like, there's been a couple of times where we've had things of that nature, like, you know, Phil's son not being well, things like that, and we're seeing it now with other people. You know, recent passing of Phil Sue, and you just see how much people come together, and it's actually very powerful. And I always, you know, I'm always thankful to be part of the wider MMA community as well, like, because it's like a big, massive extended family.
Definitely, and we've mentioned about family before. It's so important, isn't it, to have that network around you. But moving on to Joe and your journey in terms of your coaching, I mean, where did that begin for you?
Yeah, I think I'm a bit different to most people who are going to do the course, because when I started the course, I didn't really want to be a fighter. I just loved training, loved being in the gym. And a couple of weeks before I actually started the course, I went to one of our kids' classes, which Liam was teaching. And the way it all started was there was two little girls, so it was a class probably 4 to 9. There's two little girls who were 4, and they obviously were too little to fight all the boys, so I took them. And then after 2 weeks, I had my own little class, and then blew up from there. And now there's like 20 kids in a class.
What is it about that?
From there.
So what is it about the coaching?
I absolutely love coaching. I say it all the time, like, I couldn't really, like, I see Liam, before his accident, obviously he was training 4 times a day. I could never do that. I couldn't do that. But if you asked me to teach 9 till 9, I could do it back to back. I just love coaching, especially the younger kids too, because they're so unpredictable. They come out with anything. And as well too, you'll be surprised how good some of the kids can actually get. Like, we've got 4-year-old kids who are hitting pads better than a 10-year-old kid would. And it's just amazing to see.
So rewarding, isn't it, for you? And
fully.
Moving on to, like, you've got your own coaching business, I believe, as well.
So right now I've just finished my degree in uni. I got first in sport coaching.
Oh, congratulations!
And yeah, thanks. And it that just excelled my coaching, unbelievable. So, following from the actual course, though, I feel the course was the biggest thing that helped my coaching. That's what's developed, obviously, the kids' classes, and testament to Dean, because he's mentored me into being the coach I am now. And it's managed to let me have my own coaching business, which is, I'm working probably 40 hours a week, coaching now, PT in all different ages, whether it's 3-year-old kids, I've got a 2-year-old kids class, all the way to like 40-year-old fellas. So it's just amazing what the sport can do.
I even think about, like, you know, you've got that dominant skill, which is your coaching ability. You know, that's a skill that you know in and out. You know how to do that, like the back of your hand. But when it comes to the business side, what was that transition like?
It was a lot difficult than than people who look at me now think it was, because when I first started on the course, obviously Liam and Marlon, they were like the best coaches in there, so they did have quite a lot of PTs already, and I'd look at them, and from 16 to 18 I only had 1 PT a week, and then obviously overnight it just changes, and then now I'm on like 25 to 30. So it really is just keeping going, time and time, keep going. Even when I've got 1 kid a week and I'm only doing the classes, then soon it turns into 5, then 10, and then it excels from there. But especially at the start of it, I definitely stayed consistent with. I see a lot of coaches, they only have a couple, so they might cancel on them. I was always making sure I go the extra mile for everyone, and paid off.
Definitely. And, you know, in terms of the process of outline, you know, you mentioned you've got a lot of clients now, and people of a different age range, you know, that go up to, you say, 40 and then down to 3, you know. So what's the process like of making a plan for each one of them?
It's completely different. Obviously, the younger kids, especially in Aspire, and you'll learn it on the course, you should focus on game-based fundamental movement skills you should work on. So literally making sure a 3-year-old can do a forwards roll, a backwards roll, a bear crawl. Like I say all the time, they're 4 years old, they don't need to know how to choke someone when they can't write their own name. You know what I mean? So especially the younger age, you can develop yourself a lot better as a coach, I think, there, because you can work on your games, teaching them even basic stuff. So maybe you might teach them stance and guard, that's basic. But I've started teaching the last couple of years a fundamental BJJ class, because I'm predominantly grappling. So that's really excelled my coaching too, because coaching adults is so different to coaching kids, because obviously you can show a move to an adult and they drill it for 10 minutes, where if you try and say, oh, go on to these 4-year-olds, go and drill this move, it'll never work. You've got to keep it on it. So it's just being able to adapt your own coaching. I feel like the course helped me so much with that. I'm watching Dean do it too, because he obviously said he used to teach the kids classes. So watching him adapt from teaching me in the juniors classes to then teaching, I don't know, pro fighters. So it's just great to see.
It's that transition and being able to be well versed in all different parts of your business. And listen, best of luck to you with your business. Best of luck with you and you come back and with all the stuff that's coming forward. And Dean, listen, it's been fantastic talking to you all, and best of luck for the future. So thanks very much everyone for watching, and tune in for the next Access Sport podcast. Thank you.